national currencies, and we've seen this before. There was another big failure a couple of years ago, as I recall. How does an exchange provider who makes this market in Bitcoin and currencies establish himself and get the market to accept him as an intermediary between currency and Bitcoin?
Well, as you know, the biggest Bitcoin exchange, Mt. Gox, is domiciled in Japan. So they don't have any problem. Obviously, most of their clients are in the States, but they're domiciled in Japan. But that's where the vulnerability is. I mean, the exchanges, they have to set up companies. They have to have a presence. So that is a vulnerable point of Bitcoin, just as it is for any other online payment system. But the thing is that Bitcoin can work without them. They're useful. They add value. They add liquidity, but you don't need them.
Yeah,
it's peer-to-peer. It's 100% peer-to-peer.
Well, to me, what I really like about Bitcoin is it's pushing the edge of the envelope. It's causing people to think. It's causing people to understand that, hey, there's more out there than just something that comes from a government central bank or a government, more generally. That the market can create alternatives, and that's where the competitive currency thing comes in. In the States, Ron Paul has pushed forward this competitive currency thing that basically unleashes the forces of the free market, unleashes entrepreneurial spirit and thinking to create different alternatives, to come up with a currency that reduces the impediments to interacting with one another. And so in that regard, I think Bitcoin, has been in the forefront of creating something new and creative, and therefore I take my hats off to it. But for the time being, I still have this stumbling block that it's a computer program as opposed to a tangible asset that has a 5,000-year history that I can put in my hand and know how to value. But I'll probably be looking at it more and more and watch its growth and see how it grows and how it deals with the issues of becoming a new currency and competing in this world where government regulation is becoming more and more of a impediment to the free flow of money and capital across borders. Any final thoughts you'd like to add on this?
Yes, I agree with you that nothing can beat gold's 6,000-year-old history of use as money. But you use email. You've only been using it for the past, 20 years max. Bitcoin might not be the be-all and end-all, but it's a very valid experiment, and as you say, a great illustration of how experimentation, competitive currencies, can allow all kinds of solutions to spring forth, and I hope to see many more.
Yeah, but let me just end on one thing that I think fits in with our general conversation, and it's a point that I've made time and again, but I think it's really sort of important, particularly in view of this conversation. I distinguish between money on the one hand and currency on the other. Money doesn't have any history. It does the same thing today that it did 1,000 years ago, or 2,000 or 5,000 years ago. It enables us to communicate value with one another when we interact with one another in society. So that's what money does. It's a mental tool, as Mises described it. Mises, the great Austrian economist. Currency, on the other hand, does have a history. It evolves and changes. And up until 1694, with the creation of the Bank of England, currency was always a tangible asset. But after that, currency became a financial asset, which has counterparty risk and payment risk and all these other issues. So, currency continues to evolve, and I think Bitcoin is an important step in the as currency evolves. You're bringing modern technology to bear in a form of a payment mechanism that the world has never seen before, and I think that's a very, very positive step. But the question I have in my own mind is going back to what we had prior to 1694, where currency is once again a tangible asset, and ultimately that's the vision I have for gold money, using a tangible asset once again as currency without eliminating the counterparty risk and the payment risk associated with it. So I don't know. We'll see.
I look forward to very healthy competition between different possible solutions.
Well, that I agree with completely, and I really hope that governments around the world do take this competitive currency initiative that we're starting to see in a number of different places, take it seriously, allow different currencies to circulate without government intervention, without impediments imposed on the free market, without impediments imposed on individuals exercising their individual choice and free will. Felix, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with me. I really do appreciate it. Felix Moreno de la Cova, thank you again.
Pleasure.
Visit us at www.goldmoney.com and click on the Sign Up button to open your free holding.